This is DeKalb County Central United School District's proposed e-learning plan for the 2015-16 school year. This was approved by the school board on November 17th, 2015. What does e-learning look like at DeKalb Central? Our number one focus this year, as last year, will be quality instruction. Working with teachers to make sure that the lessons provided will be quality and will be using best practices of blended and e-learning. There will be another 1 week window to complete student work. That would be in particularly for elementary and middle school. We'll talk a little bit more about the high school in a minute. And also offering multiple supports for families as they work through e-learning. Parent feedback gave us lots of ideas for improving this year. Lots of parents requested day of weather e-learning. We took that into consideration. We also have parents that requested the ability to complete the work in the evenings and on the weekends. So we'll be including 2 weekends in our e-learning weeks. The ability to contact teachers with questions at different times of the day. So teachers available through voicemail, email, and just different ways through the Google Classroom application as well. Technology access for those in need. We will be continuing to have computer labs open for families that do not have internet access at home, and more about that in a little bit too. And then flexibility with different schedules and activities for families that are highly involved in sports and dance and activities outside of the school day. We want to make sure we give flexibility for those families. Improvements for the 2015-16 school year. We'll have increased internet opportunities for families. We're looking at different plans on getting some MiFis that could be checked out for the high school students in particular, so that we could take that internet home with the students. And then we also are looking at community partnerships to increase connectivity out in the community. So you wouldn't necessarily have to come to a school for computer lab time, but we would help with community partners helping us have more free internet out in the community. The biggest change for the 2015-16 school year will be that at the high school with our one-to-one Chromebook initiative, that will allow us now for day of e-learning. So what that would mean is on a snow day, if it was canceled, then by 9 o'clock assignments would be posted for students. Students would already have their Chromebooks at home with them, and then allowing for students that do not have internet to have MiFis checked out to them, so that they'll be able to access that school and make up the day right on the snow day. This would be after we've already used our 5 days that are already built into our spring break schedule. So if we would have 6 snow days, that's when that plan would go into effect. With the increased usage of Google Classroom, it's being used now in much more fluid fashion where it's being used during the school day. Students are more familiar with it. Teachers are more familiar with it. It's just become more of a habit. It would not be a separate thing that students are not used to using. So the process of adding the high school students on the day of makeup, we started with a survey asking high school students, do you have the ability to submit an assignment outside of school? Only 9.5% of students said no, they would not have the ability to submit an assignment. And then when we asked the question slightly differently, do you have internet access at home? We had 9% say yes, but I have to travel to another location, and only 6% saying no, they just do not have access. So we zeroed in on those numbers, and those are the students we are targeting for MiFi access to take home with them. Good practices to continue. We're going to still focus on quality like we said earlier. And then the 1 week window to make up classwork. That might look a little different at the high school. We're going to be working with teachers to make the best recommendation for that, since it will look a little different being on the day of. But for students in middle school and elementary, that will be at that 1 week window to make up the assignments. Again, we'll have open computer lab times. Middle and elementary schools will have their scheduled e-learning week. Depending on scheduling, we hope to provide a week to 2 weeks notice for families so they can make sure that they are planning for that e-learning window. Google Classroom, again, will be used to deliver lessons from kindergarten through 12th grade. One way, just one system to learn for families. And then we will also have that tech hotline for technology support available as well. Student preparation, students in grades 2 through 12 are already using Google Classroom, or if they're in the new tech pathway, they're using Echo for e-learning. And this is a picture of a 4th grade class. They're also utilizing laptops different ways throughout the day. It's just become a little part of their day, a tool that they use throughout their reading, writing, math practice. So that's just become much more of a regular practice. It's not a separate thing anymore. And then innovation coaches have begun working with kindergarten and 1st grade students on Google Classroom as well. They don't use it as much, but our kindergartners, this will be their first time. But we had great success last year with our kindergarten students who know our 1st graders. So it'll really just be bringing those families and students on board. Kindergartners have already started working on their passwords and how to log into things. So my own kindergartner at home has been talking about how she's been practicing that at school. Teacher preparations. We've had much more opportunity for technology integration training this school year. On Wednesday mornings, we've had opportunities to go into different departments and different schools and work with technology tools and how to use them effectively. We've seen a big increase in technology usage with our Going Digital initiative. We challenged staff members and teachers to use paper less, not go paperless, but use paper less. And we've really seen a big increase in using Google Apps for Education. So just a really quick statistic here, we started using Google Apps for Education in the spring of 2011. From spring of 2011 until May 2015, we had about 269,000 Google files created at DeKalb Central. So that would be equivalent of 269,000 paper files or documents. And then from May until November 10th, when we pulled the statistics again, we are now up to 475,000 documents. So we've almost doubled in that short amount of time, this first 9 weeks of the school year. So very exciting, the increase that we've seen. And really just thinking about how we have decreased our green or our footprint to our we've used so much less paper. So all of those papers, those 200,000 papers this school year would have been paper, and now they are not. They are digitally delivered. So that's exciting for us to see that start to come show up in the data. Parent communication will remain about the same this year. There are letters going home this week explaining our plan for e-learning. This video that I'm creating right now will be on the website. We have had surveys for the high school, and we'll continue to monitor, especially the high school, with surveys to continue to tweak that process as we start that day of snow event makeup. Social media will be used, Facebook, Twitter, just to communicate with our families, and the website again. And then login information, you'll get a hard copy handout of that going home with students in the event that we get to that 6th snow day and we need to do e-learning. And then we'll also continue our hotline for tech issues for communication. Also, we've had an increase in community involvement this year. We've got the Eckhart Public Library, Waterloo Public Library, and Ashley Community Center on board. We'll be doing training specifically with their staff to make sure they understand how to use Google Classroom and how they can help students and families with e-learning. And then also we have this map on our website. If you click on it, it's free Wi-Fi available in DeKalb County, and you can kind of see they're all flagged, and you can click and see all the locations of free Wi-Fi, places you could go if you do not have the internet at home. So all of these things in place should be a big help, and we'll continue to make improvements, and we look forward to your feedback. Thank you.